credited with scripting the turnaround story of India's largest beauty retailer, Health and Glow. Educated at IIT Kharagpur as an engineer and with an MBA from IIM Calcutta in 1993, he has worked in multiple industries, ranging from computers, power cables, tires, dot-com, and beauty retail and salons. YLG has operations in Bangalore, Chennai, and has opened YLG at Gurugram with its first franchise outlet in 2023. Our first panelist for the session is Mr. C.K. Kumarvel. He's the CEO and co-founder of Natural Salons and Spa. With over 20 years of experience, the self-made Mr. C.K. Kumarvel is a powerhouse of the salon and spa industry. Him, along with Ms. K. Veena, started the Natural Salon in the year 2000 with the simple belief of getting Ms. Veena self-employed and making rupees 60,000 a month. But when they saw a bigger opportunity around 2005, they started franchising the business. And the rest, as they say, is history. Today, Naturals is the #1 salon chain of India with over 707 salons, 400 plus financially independent women entrepreneurs, and 12,000 direct jobs. We also have with us Mr. Mukul Pawar, the director of LookWell Salons. He took over the operations of LookWell in the year 2014, when LookWell had only one salon, and today he has expanded it to 24 salons, one training academy with over 400 trained professionals and a corporate team. Prior to joining the salon industry, Mr. Mukul Pawar completed his bachelor's degree in engineering and was working with HP in Pune. His vision is to continuously enable customers, staff, and brand partners along with franchise and technical operational expertise that LookWell has gained in the past 28 years. Last but not the least, we have with us Sneh Kotecha contractor, the director at Jean-Claude Biguin's Salons and Spa along with Bound Salons in India. As the original stakeholder of JCB Salons, Sneh Kotecha contractor has been involved with JCB since 2016 and is a significant part of the business development trade. New salon launches in different cities, new services like Trika and home services among many other initiatives. Her appetite for challenges and change have led to the expansion of the salon chain to more than 45 outposts across India. Sneh is an avid contributor to various social causes and passionate about the livelihood development of the marginalized segments of India.
Hello. Yes. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. And this is the last session of the day, and I hope that we'll wrap up very soon. And it should be an interesting discussion because we have a fantastic panel. I think all of us know here Mr. Kumarvel. He's the naturals man, and all of us know. And by the way, I must mention that the number of salons which was mentioned was off by about 80 or so. So they are like 787 something. Yeah, so 787, the number was 707. So for, 80 here and there, yeah. So it's, so we have people like CKK on the panel. We have Sneh Kotecha. Now she has a list of brands which is the envy of everybody in the country. And all of them are iconic brands in their own spaces. Pleasure to meet you, Mukul. And he's also the youngest on the panel today. So we'll hear a lot from him also. So as I start the discussion, first I want to say I just love stories. Don't you? All of us love stories, right? So let's start first by hearing the stories from each of these leading lights in the industry. And let me start with ladies first. So I'd love to hear your story in this industry, how you started. I know that your story is very different from others, but we'd like to hear it from your own mouth.
Thank you. Yes, I think each of us have very interesting stories, and our journeys have been very, very different. So mine personally started with Jean-Claude Biguin being just an investment where we were promoters for a brand new brand right out of college, looking at what the industry was looking like. Is it a great industry to be in? What is the gap in the market? So I was a financial analyst. I was studying equity markets and looking at private equity investments. So very different from where we are now. But as it started building interest, understanding how the industry actually works, it starts building on you. I think it starts growing on you. And of course, as women, we love the services, we love getting pampered. So it started becoming very, very deep inside it, and very, very passionate for the business itself. And of course, as beauty grows, as the country grows, I think the opportunity is immense. So I think from there onwards, where we started our first salon in the year 2007, we had a 3-story salon that we launched. And I think to now, where we are about 48 doors, I think it's been a very, very different journey. The first salon has a different kind of attachment and love that we all feel. Then comes the business sense of it. So then there are different ideas and changes that you make to the business. And from there, of course, once we understand what kind of model we want to be in, what is the thought process, and what is our vision for that particular business, I think that's when we start growing in numbers. I think till then, it's very hard to grow from 1 to 50, in a very short time. So I mean, today from 2007, I think around 2008 beginning is when we launched the first salon, and to today we are now at 48 plus. So.
Hello. All right. Mr. Kumarvel, the most fascinating story of all.
Thank you, Rahul, and thanks, my friends. In the beginning, when we started, I had put my story of naturals there in a YouTube video called From Caterpillar to Butterfly. You can see that. In the beginning, when we started way back in 2000, it's getting my wife self-employed and make 60,000 rupees a month. That was the beginning of the brand Naturals. Every entrepreneur starts with the idea of wanting to stand on their own legs. That's the first thing. We need a self-identity. We need to do something. Second stage, we want to give a good lifestyle to our family members. Education to children, to a little bit of a car, little bit home, all this comfort we want to give it to the children. That is the second phase. Third phase, we want to ensure our company, our staff are doing well. Fourth phase, we want to do our company, family members of our company, our team members should do well. The fourth and the fifth important stage is the society should do well. Once you start employing more than 500 people, you no longer belong to the individual, family, or the company. You belong to the society. Because the society has helped so much for you to reach where you are at this point of time. After that, the order reverses. First is the society, second is the company people, third is the company, fourth is the family, and last is the entrepreneur. Entirely the thing have to change, and that's how we need to start looking at the opportunity, because the society has helped you to reach where you are at this point of time. I think I start looking at my brother C.K. Ranganathan of Kavin Care puts it so well. Business is about balancing the 6 stakeholders. First is customer, second is employee, third is vendor, fourth is the government agencies, fifth is the financial institutions, and the last is the regulators. This business is about balancing the 6 stakeholders, and in that order. First is the customer, second is the employee, third is the vendors, fourth is the financial institutions, and fifth is the regulator, and last only the, what you call the stakeholder, that is the entrepreneur comes into the picture. The number of stakeholders is also important, the order is also important. Many times we get it wrong. And that is where the entrepreneur, I was doing the same mistake. First I used to take care of what you call my customers well, but used to pay my, what you call the employees late, then the vendors late, then the bank late, then the government agencies. All this chakkar, if we keep on doing, we'll go in chakkar only. Only when we understand this logic and we put it together, business starts growing. And that's my learning in business.
Well, that's absolutely brilliant. And it's amazing how the clarity is there. If you see, you can just point out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the order also. It's very hard for me to even remember those 6 points, right? And all of us, I think, can learn a lot from this. Yes, so now the youngest member on the panel.
So, yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Though I am the youngest one, but my brand is not. So it all started in 1996. My mom used to run a salon, a ladies' salon. And we used to have a salon set up in in our house only. So one of the bedroom got converted to a salon. And that's how we started in 1996. And later on, we moved to the ground floor because that was also one of the story. My dad was just looking like down the window. There were two ladies who wants to come to a salon, and as it was a short building, there was no lift. So we understand the customer is hesitating to walk all the way to the second floor. So that was, it's all started as like a brand identity. We opened it on the ground floor. So we always had a customer-centric point of view, always. So whatever the customer need and demand is, we always try to cater and try to build up the brand towards that. And then we got a very good opportunity when we moved down to the ground floor. Then it was a ladies salon for more than 10 years. I myself have done my engineering, so I want to get into the business. But coming from a Maharashtrian traditional family, they never allowed me to get into the business. They used to say कि नहीं तू कर रहा है अच्छा अपना engineering में तू करते रहे, हम लोग हमारा business करते रहेंगे. But it really, it was a hard time to convince them. It took me around 3 years to convince them that let me do the business with you. So that time it was only one salon. And in 2014, we opened the second salon, which I also quit my job and I got into the full-time into the business. So from there, it was no stopping at all. We were keep on. So my basic intention was to get the next LookWell within 3 kilometers after every store. So that's how helped us to build as a brand. So it was a recurring brand which the customer is able to see. And it was always the customer-centric point of view. Yeah.
So it's absolutely fascinating how each of us thinks so differently. So here is a brand which is now has a vision that every 3 kilometers, if I have one outlet, then my brand will keep growing. How many of you actually think like that? Anyone? Yeah? 3 kilometers, 2 kilometers, 5 kilometers? Yeah? I think Kapil is silent. So now let me ask the first formal question to each one of my panelists. That which was your first salon? And from there, how do you trace the numbers growing? Like first salon you opened, then after that the second, then the first 5, the 10, and so on. What was the timeline and what do you see how it changed?
The first salon was in Kadar Nawaz Khan Road in Chennai, and that time we did not know anything about the business. Many people say you should know about the business if you have to do a business, especially the technical portion of the business. We did not know anything about the business, so that was a bliss. So, one of my story, Rahul was talking about story, so I should tell this story. I landed in San Francisco airport some 4 years before. I was carrying 2 big suitcases and took the suitcase. My friend came and picked me up. I put one of the suitcases in the boot. And the second suitcase, I said, I will keep it in my lap. He said, no worry, keep it in the front. I said, how can you keep it in the front? He opened it. There is no engine. That's when I realized it's a Tesla. Only an Elon Musk can think of a car which doesn't require an engine. Every other car maker, if you are in the business, you can only make incremental increases. If you are not in the business, you can disrupt the business. Being not knowing the rules of the business is a very good place to be in. And that is how we started. Not knowing the business means bliss. So there is no rules to follow. Because we don't know the rules. And that's how we came into the business. I went and asked for an appointment with a L'Oreal stockist. He said, come after 15 days and give me 15,000 rupees. I said, neither I had 15 days time and nor I had 15,000 money. So that's also another bliss. Whatever you don't have, I only have 2 words to say that. It's called take advantage. If you say you don't have a knowledge, take advantage. If you don't have the skill, take advantage. If you say you don't have money, take advantage. If you don't say you don't have know the business, take advantage. Everything, you flip it like that, what is a problem will look like an opportunity. And that's how we looked at the business, and that's how we built it.
Fascinating. Yes.
So as I've told you before, in 2014, I just got into the business. So it was a very tough time for me to handle the staff and in managing the inventory. And being from the computer side, I used to try to implement a lot of operational things into the proper procedure. And I used to think product knowledge तो बहुत simple ही है, बस पढ़ के ही staff को बताना है. But that didn't help up really well. वो कुछ काम नहीं कर रहा था. Then in 2014 June, I enrolled myself into the L'Oreal hairdressing. I've done my 6 months ka hairdressing course, which actually I consider my turning point into the journey in my career. So having a perfect knowledge really helped me to build my team. I really don't work on the floor. I don't get time to work on the floor, earlier days also. But it helped me to evaluate the team members, taking the interviews, assigning the proper thing, how we can grow up their career and skills. So yeah, education is the important factor. Which
Is it education or relevant education?
Relevant education, yeah.
So from somebody who says you don't need to know anything and you can still be successful to relevant education. So see how everybody is so different. What would you say, Sneh?
I think we were not, I mean, it wasn't even a dream that I would be so closely working on a salon business. I think we are from a family which is equity markets and stock markets, and it was always something that we've grown up with. But I think from the beginning, like CK sir said, you don't know anything about the business. What you know is that the market that you want to cater to. So the first salon at Bandra that I said was a 3-story building. We knew we wanted to be luxury. We were there. We knew we did not want to compromise on quality, on hygiene. We wanted to be the first ones in the market who had a level of hygiene which was unimaginable by anyone any of the clients or anyone had access to. I think that is what we knew that we wanted to do. Like I said, after some time, business sense also prevails as to what is possible and how to do it better. So it's been a learning, it's been a journey. How do we do things better? Not technical at all. So we did have a lot of help initially from the master franchise, which is the French company. So we had trainers come in. We had great trainers come in. Honestly, we've been lucky that we had amazing panel of trainers. We had great international stylists. And I think the vision was clear. I think once that is there and you know where you want to be and how you want to do things, then slowly things fall into place.
Okay, super. So what would you say are the key factors which have contributed to the success so far, what you have had?
I think at JCB and at Bounce, I think we've been lucky that we've got synergies where a few things we do not compromise on at all. I think first is quality and hygiene of product, of service. We set our levels and we do not want to compromise on that at all. So education becomes extremely, extremely important, not for us, but for everyone else. So I think education is I think one of the pillars that we cannot compromise on. Second is ambience and hygiene. I think if we want to cater to a certain market, then we must make sure that we are catering to that market. We are at the level which is expectations of the clients. Third is I think the product that we also are catering to. So our partners, how much training we're doing, we do not compromise on the quality that we want to do, the testing and the trial process that goes on before we introduce a product. So I think, and the last part is hygiene. I think that is something that we've kind of started and initially had that vision and we've not wanted to compromise on that.
So training, education, not compromising on standards, hygiene.
Yes, absolutely.
Right?
Yes.
Fantastic. What about you, Rohit? Oh, Mukul, sorry.
See, as I've told before, we have, after every 3 kilometers, you will see LookWell in most of the area. So we started in Kalyan, then we opened back-to-back in Kalyan, then Dombivli, then Thane, Mulund. Now we have in Pune, Nasik as well, Ambarnath, Badlapur, that territory.
Pune is not 3 kilometers, yeah?
Yeah.
It's more like...
So हम लोग थोड़ा change करते हैं plan, wherever there is need and required. But initial days, Pune to recently we opened. But initial days, this is what my plan was. So we want to dominate one particular territory entirely. And that definitely helped us. And at the same time, yes, we need to make a lot of SOPs, right from giving services to the customer till the education. So we made all the proper plan and we follow it every time, yeah.
Wonderful. So, CKK, you were telling me very interesting how the trajectory of the number of outlets has gone and how your motivations or how you are looking at it also has changed over the years. So, if you can just share that with the audience, I think it's a fascinating story.
Like, can you come
the
back?
The first to the 50th and then thereafter.
Yeah, first I was playing more of a, as I said, the first salon when we opened, Lakme was at 130 salon. I used to marvel at that brand. I used to look at, wow, what a brand, what a national, what kind of thing, and that I used to look at it. Suddenly, as I progressed, and rain fills the size of the vessel you carry. Keep a spoon outside, rain will fill a spoon, a tumbler outside, a bucket outside, a river outside, a ocean outside. What is the size of your dream? India, at this point of time, one of the points I want to share is that the 19th century belonged to Europe, the 20th century belonged to America, and the 21st century is an Asian century and an Indian century. Annapurna and Saravana Bhavan are in food industry. KFC and McDonald's are in food industry. Swiggy and Zomato are in food industry. In this world, the values are trapped or hidden at different places at an individual level, community level, country level, at a company level. Business model to unlock the hidden value using technology are going to be the new winners. This is the framework. If we can understand this, business models to unlock the hidden value using technology are going to be the new winners. Airbnb, there was an extra room available everywhere, unlocked it with technology, they became world #1. So is Uber, Ola, so is Swiggy, Zomato. I was in a conference like this with Falguni Nayar, me and Lakme CEO from Pushkaraj. And she was saying, I don't know anything about this industry, but I see an opportunity. I will get into it and figure it out. Today, the whole industry put together have not reached what Nykaa has reached, because of her ability to understand the technology and how she has leveraged it. That's what is available for us. One, we are operating in the best country at the best time. Digital highway is already created. But we now need to look at the business very differently. At a point, franchising, yes, it's fine. I think those days are all over. I think new opportunity, especially for youngsters. I think, especially Sneha, are you listening? The youngsters, the opportunity is technology, make it into a beauty tech business. This is what I want to leave it. I think Man is here. I think so many people are there. Make it there. Make it into a beauty tech business. You will do a lot of good for yourself and for the industry.
Mukul, can you share with us what is the model of business you have chosen and why? How is your business structured? I mean, is it like company-owned, franchisee, or how do you operate and what is the logic for that?
So, most of the salons are company-owned only because it was a very early stage and we are opening the salons. Like every year, we are opening 2 salons, 3 salons, 4 salons. And we were also not that ready to, with our own operational team. So if we are also not ready, how we can start giving the franchise? The initial years, it was all, most of the salons were company owned. But later on, when we got stronger in terms of the operations, then we like my size got bigger in terms of the strength of the team. And now we are adding up with the franchise. Now we have around like 5-6 salons which are franchise. Rest are all company owned only. Yeah. But all the franchisee outlets are also company operated. So it's always all the franchisee team, whoever are willing to open a salon. So rather than the investment, they don't have the expertise to run the entire show, the salon. So we help them to also run operationally. And we charge a certain amount as operational charges from them. Yeah.
So let's say that the next 5 years, you have another 50 salons open. Would you still go with the same model?
Yeah, I'll try to stick with it. Yeah. Company owned is what we are looking forward. Yeah.
Okay, let's put one more zero to that 50. Then?
Maybe IPO will work in that case.
IPO is different, yeah. IPO is, how will you run the business?
So we need to increase the strength of the team in terms of operationally, like centrally operationally. I think the system and procedure has to be at the par if you are still giving the franchise. So we need to have a proper control on each and every salon. You need to create a lot of leaders like below you who can exactly implement everything which is needed. Yeah. So then 5,000 can also be managed.
Well, I love that confidence. CK, would you like to comment on that? Because CK comes from a
I need to carry that confidence because I'm sitting next to him.
No, I think 5 plus 4 equal to 9, so is 6 plus 3, so is 10 minus 1. There is no one way to solve a problem. There is no one way to cook a food. There is no one way to run a business. I think he and me are taken completely the opposite dimension and both will work. There is no one way. So I think there is no point in saying that franchising is the best or company owned with so much of control is the best. I think, but one thing is true, individuals don't scale, systems and process only will scale. And using technology, we will be able to do lot of things when you combine systems and process with technology. I think that is the way we can manage large number. And a country like India, we have to have this number is not sufficient what we are talking. I think 140 crore people, the number required for organized salon in this country is humongous. Okay, I think that is something which we need to look at and plan ourselves to that. That's what I was talking about, rain fills the size of the vessel, you carry.
Let me ask Sneh now.
So as of now, we are 48 doors as we speak, which are company owned. We did dabble with a little bit of franchising, but I think you have to have a different mindset, right? Like everyone has a right kind of business model that they know that they can and they can't. And I think on our end, especially, we've said maybe we're okay to do company owned right now and take a break on the franchising. Let the two franchises that are running, they're running well, no issues there. But as a company, I think management decisions, like CK sir said, processes that need to be in place, etc. I think we are on the other end of the continuum. So whether it's 500 or 5,000, as of now, we're on the company end.
No, there's no, as he said,
yes,
there's no right or wrong.
There's no right or wrong answer. So I think it's a mindset. It's a mindset and it's how you build your processes, it's how your company is built. And that can only carry you from one model to the other. I don't think there's any other way to do it.
Okay, now here's a question. If you had the option of going into a time machine and back to the day one you started, how would you do it differently?
I would have started with a smaller salon. But I think it's just that the first door that you have so much aspiration, so much love, so much enthusiasm that sometimes we overdo it. But I think one door, if it does well, you know exactly how to replicate that, and that initial time that you take to grow into doors would have been shorter, I think.
Shorter.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really, it's very interesting. I would say I thank you that you're being so honest and so forthright with your thoughts. Mukul,
Same question.
same question. Put you into a time machine in 2012 when you started? 14, you said.
14, yeah.
2014. How would you do it differently?
I think I've done it very, very perfect that
Perfect. Fantastic. I love the confidence.
time. That's how we have grown. And I just wish that whatever energy I used to carry like 7, 8 years back, now the energy sometimes gets lost.
How
because
old are you?
I'm 35.
At 35, you are saying energy is coming
No,
down.
no. No, due to a lot of pressure with the work, teamwork and all everything.
Pressure will grow, yaar. You are growing, pressure will also grow.
Yeah. So I'm working on it.
Super. Yes, CKK.
So, if I had done, instead of 775 salon, I would have done one good online store. What Nykaa has done, I would have done that.
Fantastic. This is amazing.
Business only.
So it's very interesting when you start with stories, no? Then many things come out, right? Okay. So again, a question. Here we are talking about growth. So how many is enough for you?
To be very frank, I'm not behind numbers. Whatever we have achieved till now is all organic. So wherever we get an opportunity, we see our financial aspect, then we see the growth pattern, and also with that, the entire geometry, if we calculate and we do analysis, then we decide to open a salon or not. So in last 2 years, we opened almost 12 salons. But that also eventually happened as per the location and as per the people shown an interest with us. But I'm not into that I want to achieve this, I want to achieve that. So I'm very much positive and hopeful for the rest of my years, yeah.
Super. So keep the energy up.
Yeah.
CKK.
No, I want to make see, 140 crore people, we should be the #1 in the world. That's what is my dream about. There are very few industry or very few areas where we can claim we are #1 in the world. Why not an Indian salon chain becomes the #1 salon chain of the world? That's my
Amazing.
dream and that's my goal.
So just to get a sense of that, CKK, do a simple back of the envelope calculation. 140 crore people, how many, one salon per how much population? Approximately.
1,000.
1,000? So how many salons is that?
Don't
That's 14 lakh salons. Do we know how many salons are there in India today? Anybody knows?
Around 2 lakhs?
60 lakh. 60 lakh is the number of people working in the salons as per the government, not the number of salons. So the best estimate is that there are about 2.3 lakh salons in the country. So potentially we can grow to 14 lakhs. So that means that we have a long way to go. Yes, same question to you. How many is enough?
No such thing, I think. Like you said, I think the sky is the limit. And we've seen, I mean, the more you go into the smaller towns, the more, we've always seen the opportunity in the cities. The more you go into the smaller towns, the opportunity is more, I think. So no such thing as any number that's enough. I don't think so.
How many smaller towns are there in India? Thousands and thousands, right? So without saying the number, she has already put very clearly like thousands into so many more, right? Pin codes, I don't know. There must be some almost 6-7 lakh pin codes. So, yeah. Okay. I think this is a fascinating discussion, and people have been very, very forthright. So I will just ask the last question for the day, which is, and to each one of you, this is supposed to be a panel on leadership. So what in your mind is leadership?
think heavy duty question, but I think leadership, I think comes from the fact that when you take care of every stakeholder in a company, I think from employees onwards, I don't think you can claim to be a leader. You become a leader. People start actually taking you as a leader and respecting you as a leader because it's only as a reciprocation or a reaction to something that you are. So.
Well said. Mukul, what in your mind is leadership?
Leadership is the very broad perspective. The leadership has to be like courageous and someone who can really take the decision for everyone, whoever is there in the entire family, Salon family. And people should look at him and should be admirable at the same time. He should be, focusing on the entire business, and someone has to follow him. Yeah.
Leader is him only? Yeah? So, no women leaders?
Him and her.
Yes. Yes, CKK, most interesting closing comment about leadership.
If your actions inspire other people to dream more, to do more, and become more, then you are a real leader. So your actions should inspire other people to dream bigger, to do more and become more. And I want the entire industry to do well. It's not naturals to do well, or YLG should do well, or JCB to do well. We want the entire industry should do well. I think that is what is very important. And that's what is the need of the hour. And that's how we should build. That's what I always say. And together, let us build a beautiful India. I think that's my...
Thank you so much. Thank you, CKK. Thank you, Mukul. And thank you, Sneh, for being such wonderful panelists and really answering the questions from the heart. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
On that note, I think everybody should give this panel a big, big round of applause. They have shared dil se what it meant for them to grow from one to so many. I think we can only learn from examples, and they've given all the examples that can be. So one more round of applause to them.